Hey, and welcome to the Viewfinder podcast. My name is Theo Weingarten. I'm a DOP from Germany, and sometimes in between jobs, I host this little interview podcast. And in this episode, I talked with director Avery Stedman from Toronto, Canada. He does really amazing stuff, and we have a little funny story how we actually met some time ago in Poland at a film festival. In the show notes, you can find all the links to Avery's work, to the podcast's channel on Instagram, and also my work. And have fun. Enjoy the episode. So good to see you, man. Long time.
For sure. I mean, when was the last time we saw each other? Was it in Poland?
Yeah. Have you been like the last time? Were you there? No, you weren't there.
No,
right?
we didn't go. Our group didn't go. It was like, for me, it was bad timing. I had a job that I couldn't miss. And yeah, it just wasn't the, I don't know if I can go this year either. It might be dicey, but I'd like to. I mean, I'd like to get something in and then go. I feel like that would kind of be the,
I think this is
the way.
It was kind of, I don't know, like the year before where we last met, like, it has like already been like dimmed down, and the last time it was like even more dimmed down. So there were like less parties, less stuff, less to do, less movies. Also, I think it was kind of a mixed bag. Overall, at the time, yeah,
it was a mixed bag. Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
It's a fun time. It's great meeting people. It's how we met.
Yeah, definitely. It's I really like the festival for that.
For the people who don't know, the Camera Image Festival in Toruń, Poland.
Yes, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like this little village where everybody is for like a week from like the whole world. Like I don't know. I find it so funny. So this thing has been recording. I think I will cut to
the chase.
I will just find a way to get into the episode.
Sure.
But I want to tell the story of how we met, because I don't know if you remember. This must have been like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I was there, and I saw Adam. I can't pronounce his last name. Can you do it for me?
Mazurek, yeah.
Adam Mazurek. I've been following him like a few years at that point, so I recognized him. And he was just walking down the street to the cinema, and I don't know, talked to him. Aren't you Adam, that guy from Canada? And he's like, yeah. And I don't know, it was so like crazy, like meeting people from like all over the globe, you know? And then I told him that I've been following you two guys for like, I don't know, also like 3-4 years at that point, because you did like those, this, was it Rising with Night Lovell, this documentary? And I really, really enjoyed that, because this was at a time where I was like getting into filmmaking, and I really enjoyed how you did it. And I liked like the moody part of it, and also like the artist as well. So this was kind of fun. And then he said, yeah, Avery's also coming like in the next few days. And then, I don't know, we met, and it was a good time. And
we met at the Ari party, right? I think I had like just landed, and I had shown up.
Yeah.
And Adam had started pouring vodka down my throat.
Good times.
And then I think you came up, and it was a funny time. Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, it was cool. It was cool to meet you too. Like, where, like, you don't know that, you know, like, I mean, for me, especially like with doing Canadian work, like sometimes you're not sure like where it's going, you know, is it reaching a European audience? And so that was really cool for me, just to know that like that particular piece like had reached someone like you across the globe, and you resonated with it.
Yeah, that's so cool. But tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do. Like what would you describe what you do?
Ooh, loaded question. I just feel like I'm a creative guy. I just like to explore different facets of the business that sort of lead me into directing work. So whether that's writing, from a commercial perspective, documentary perspective, hopefully soon feature TV perspective. Um, I think for me, it starts with like writing and ideas, and I've always kind of like worked up from that. I haven't had like the most like traditional way into commercial advertising. I've sort of had to like insert myself into finding projects and finding work. And part of that is doing writing and coming up with ideas. So for me, like I would refer to myself as a director writer, but that can mean like copywriter, that can mean like commercial writer, documentary conceptualizer, things like that. So, I think by trade, I think filmmakers are we do a trade. So by trade, I'd say I'm a director or writer.
Yeah. All right. So just like a creative guy, but this is what do you like about directing? I ask these people now because I find it fun to know what especially is fun for people doing their jobs. Do you have like a few things that you can name that like make out the fun for you?
Fun? Yeah, fun. Sure, it's fun. It is fun. I think the whole process is fun. I think that it's easy to get caught up in sort of the stress of the moment or the anxieties about it turning out the way you want it to. But that is the fun. That is the opportunity to do something. And I think that's I think the reason I do it is that I just always wanted to take a perspective that I had and impart it on another subject. Like, I didn't think I'd be making rap videos when I was like 20, and then I ended up doing that just because I had a relationship with the artist. And I think that's important for me is if I have to have a connection to the subject matter, to what I'm doing. Like, even if I've been doing some automotive stuff, like even if it's cars, like if I can find some way in for me, whether it's like something visually that I want to tie the project to, thematically, like even just to try something new is really exciting for me. So that's a long-winded way of saying that, like, I've always felt like I have to feel a connection to the work and because it's like a two-way street where like it's rewarding for the work and it's rewarding for me to be a part of it. But I wanted to be a cinematographer actually when I was younger, and even up until my early 20s, I was still operating and DPing, if you want to call it DPing. But then I moved to Toronto. I grew up in Winnipeg, kind of a smaller city in the middle of Canada. It's one of the coldest places in the world. Let's go. And I moved to Toronto, and at that point I was sort of like a director DP, but I wasn't really even a DP. We didn't even have like, real lighting sets in Winnipeg that we were using. So I was more like a director operator. And my lighting was the sun. But that's mainly what I was doing. And I did some cool music videos, and I like kind of built a little portfolio for myself. And then when I moved to Toronto, I met guys like Adam, Danish Krishnan, Dan Wood, all DPs that I still work with today. And they were just miles better than I was. Like their lighting was so good. Their knowledge, I think that was the biggest gap, is that I just didn't have the knowledge of the gear and the hands-on in the same way that other guys did. Like there was full-on package trucks that you could just rent that had, everything, HMIs, LEDs, like whatever you needed that I didn't have access to when I was in Winnipeg. So I just didn't know the gear. And so at that point, I sort of felt a gap. But where I didn't feel a gap is because some of the directors I was working, like I remember doing a music video, and just like looking at the director, and we were chatting, and I was kind of thinking in my head, like, why do you want to do it like this? Like I would do it like this. And I just kept having a lot of those questions when I was working with different directors, and feeling like I would do things differently, and I wanted to do them differently. And so I kind of felt like, oh, I think I could actually lean into this. I think I want to lean into this, and started just taking on work. And so that project, that Rising documentary, was one of the first projects that I feel like I really, from page to screen, fully developed and directed. I partnered with the Juno Awards, which is like Canada's Grammys. And there was a woman there who's a producer who brought me on originally as an editor. That's my other background, is editing. And I told her I wanted to direct, and she said, well, pitch me like a series that you want to do or something. Like, we have access to some funding, small amount, but let's try. And so I pitched them this idea of doing like an original short doc series about up and coming artists that maybe the Juno Awards wouldn't connect with, or wouldn't give exposure to these artists until they got to like a higher level. But we wanted to like start doing some groundwork to make relationships with artists on the come up. And so that was sort of the inception of the idea, and that got funded. And, we had very small budgets, but we were able to do, I think, around like 8 or 9 of them over the course of 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And that Night Lavelle one was the second one that we did. And then I was like, okay, cool, I did this. I'm a director now. Cool, great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes nowadays, or like in the last, I don't know, 10, 15-ish years. I don't know. I think before that it was like a longer way to be able to call yourself this. But
Yeah.
But was this also like, was this like that a project that put you on the map, so to say, or was it like one of the first things where people like trusted you? Like, I always call this like a project that someone trusts you like in advance. Like in this commercial world, it's always like you have to prove that you do something, and when you can prove it, you can do it. Like this is like the incentive a lot of times.
I still feel like that a lot of the time, actually. It's still like a common theme.
It's real. But would you say that this project was the one where people trusted you and you were able to do something above your pay grade, or so to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first, like, I did music videos like first, and I think those artists were my friends, and they took a chance, right? Like, they took a chance in letting me do that. And we worked together, so it was kind of like tighter. I feel like the Junos took a shot on me. Really, this woman Jill took a shot on me. Shout out Jill.
Shout out.
Shout out Jill. But then Night Lavelle and his manager at the time, Jonathan, like, I met with them. I remember we met them at, I think it was like at the Ritz-Carlton or Sheraton or something, like a lobby. They were in Toronto. The Night Lavelle's from Ottawa, but they were in Toronto, and I met them, and we just like talked like about like what the project was, and they honestly had no like, my work wasn't there yet, really. Like, they had no reason to be like, yeah, let's, like, this guy's gonna do a great job. I just had weird, you know what, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I had some like more lo-fi music videos with an artist from Winnipeg named Smart Death, and they knew of him. And I think they just like liked that I was involved in, at that time, like the underground scene of Canada, I guess you could call it. But I think that kind of like tipped them off, like, okay, like, he's doing this stuff. And I think they just liked the idea, and they liked the idea of like a big organization like paying attention to what he was doing, because what he was doing was so considerable. Like, he really, to this day, I maintain he is like the biggest independent artist in the country. And I think, I think that's like what I leaned into, was like, people don't know this. Like, just let people know this about you in the industry, in the wider industry. And then, when that piece came out, like, it organically just did very well. Like, I remember I was like, is he going to post this? Like, I hope he posts this. Like, I feel like they liked it. I remember I sent them a rough cut, like around Christmas time. We shot it in the fall, and it took me a while to edit. but I sent it to them like right before the holidays, and there was like no response for like a day or two or something. And then just like a flurry of like, "Yo, this is great. We love this," came in, and I was so relieved. Um, but then, yeah, we put it out, and I think the Junos were a little skeptical, like about the whole thing. Because the first one came out, it was really good editorial piece, but it didn't like capture an audience. And my pitch really was like, if we find artists with organic fan bases, like real fans, then they'll watch this. And that's exactly what happened. He tweeted it once. All he put was like Lavelle documentary or like rising documentary, something like that. Like just like 2 words. And that it got like, a couple thousand likes right away. And I think I came in the video had like 200,000 views in a
Yeah.
day, which for
That's
like
crazy.
a short documentary on YouTube, is pretty crazy. Um, and then from that was like the first like leap of faith. And then I had actually like after we had done the doc, I had shot Bad Kid, the music video for him, and that actually ended up coming out before the doc
Oh,
um, came out. But I think it was because they saw the doc and just the way we shot it, and that they like trusted me to do his first real like music video that had like a crew and stuff like that. All the stuff he did before was like himself, and it was great. It's just this was like a production step up.
yeah. And like, how was it like perceived, and like how did you go on from there? Like, was this like people noticed you, and like in your area were like, okay, let's meet this guy. He's new, he's cool. Was this something that
Yeah.
happened, or was it like more slower?
No, it was a little bit like that. It was like, I think after, I remember like going to the rental house where we rented all the gear from, and the rental guys knowing me. And that was the first time they like were like, "Yo, you did this cool thing."
Yeah, nice.
Between the music video and the doc, because they were like, "You did this cool thing with Dennis, you did this cool thing with Adam." Um, and yeah, just like a bunch of DPs started following me. And I think I think just like people, creative people were like into it, and other artists were into it. And I wouldn't say it broke me commercially or anything like that. Like but I think it like set a base level of quality and storytelling that I like wanted to maintain. And that sort of set the bar for me personally of like, okay, what did I do that made this work? And a lot of it was just partnering with the right person and connecting to the material. And that was the formula that worked. Like it's not going to work with every artist, and Lavelle and I have a pretty special creative relationship. But if you can find something, it's what I figured out is like, if you can find something that you can lean into with everything that you do, every artist, every story, make it yours in some way, then at least what you're presenting, there's a part of you in it.
Yeah. And do you think that you do this in your work? Do you think there's like some unique angle that your work has? Like, is there something, like, if you would describe your, I don't know, style, but like, is there something that you like to put like emphasis on in the projects that you do?
Yeah, I think depends on what the project is now. I'm sort of at this stage where a lot of the work I'm doing it's not my ideas anymore, like it's my execution of the idea, which is, the commercial world. So that it becomes a little bit harder to like impart yourself into it. I think you do that more with style, and you do that more with like taking a visual perspective and a visual style. Like, I think with the projects that have really hit for me, the connection has always been like, with Lavelle, it was like just like a rawness. Like every time this man sends me a song, I'm just like, ooh, like it just blows my speakers. Like I'm just, ooh, I just get this feeling that I want to do something different. But with him, there's always like like an honesty behind it, like whether it's like on our last 2 videos, like we leaned more into like genre and doing something a little bit more like I want to say weirder, like something
Yeah.
surreal, something that people wouldn't expect, versus the previous ones had all been like very much like docu style, like slice of life for him. But I usually try to bring things back to like what I like, childhood things, like I really like cars, you
Yeah.
know. I didn't know this about myself, but I was a huge like James Bond kid. So cars are like a huge part of that, right? So I started like going back and like looking at some of the coverage and like um trying to like, be inspired the Nolan way,
Yeah.
That's like, you watch all those Batman movies, they're just James Bond. Uh Amazing ripoffs. I can't even use the word ripoff, but do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just finding like elements of you and
Yeah.
um like I did a golf commercial and
Yeah.
I grew up golfing. I love golf. It's a sickness, can't get rid of it. And I I remembered like we were talking about like scenes for the creative and trying to understand like what it's like when you are like a kid and you lean in fully into sports. So I just remembered like the sound of a golf ball like rolling on hardwood floor because I used to putt on hardwood floor from my kitchen into into the family room. And when we were scouting for the house, I looked down at the floor and it was like exactly the same. And we were deciding between these two houses, which one was the better one. And something about like that floor, and I just knew the shot right away. It was perfect. And I just it just felt like, okay, go with this. Because
Yeah.
like that's your connection. Is like when you do this scene, it's gonna feel good. And it did. I remember feeling like, emotional shooting it because I was like, oh, like this is me. I'm putting
Yeah.
myself into this. And that's a special feeling.
Yeah. And like, have you, like, sometimes you don't always get like projects where you can do this. Like, I think this is like a very special case where you actually are able to put something of yourself into it. Do you, or have you done like over the past years, done like some passion projects or free projects, or has it been like more on the commercial side of it? And like, what would you describe those are good for?
I got to look at my own website to figure out this question. Well, I feel like the music videos that I do are passion projects in a way
Yeah.
because like they're budgeted and my time is paid, but it's so much time that you can't really weigh it like that, and you're getting to do something like really special. So I'd say the music videos that I've done with Lavelle in the past 2 years and some of the last Rising doc that I did on Versace, those are like passion projects where I just get a lot of control. Like, I mean, Lavelle definitely, I always put him as a co-director because he he definitely comes to me always with ideas and we end up chiseling and shaping those together. But like, he's a super involved guy, like we go back on edits and like his notes are so valuable. Like, so, but then no, like the commercial stuff, no, I just, you get an assignment and you do it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more what I said before of like style,
Yeah.
like, you know, uh, camera, lighting, mood, tone. I think in a commercial, I've been saying this a lot lately, is like your job is to, you don't get to create the creative, the concept, the idea, but what you do have control of is the tone and the execution of that. So I think like in commercials, our job is like nailing the tone, and the vision that the agency creatives have sold to their client, because it's taken them months to get that sold, right?
Yeah.
And they're really hyped on it, and it's always good. It's always I rarely get boards where I'm just like, oh, this sucks. Like, you know, people are coming up with great stuff. I think for us, it's like when it's story based, I will insert myself a bit more. I might have notes, especially if it's something that I feel like I'm maybe more of an expert in, like in that in that golf commercial that I did, like I know the game, like I know the stories. I watched live the guy who we did the piece on, his name's Nick Taylor. Like I pitched that concept to the agency to be like, what, we should be commemorating this. So that's a situation where I felt like I can insert myself, but like I just did like 2 automotive things, and like I'm just getting it done, like in a way that we're all happy with.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Like,
do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like when it comes to like different projects that you can kind of insert yourself at a different level, or is that something that you think is important as a DP?
I think like for me, it's like I have like 2 different batteries, like one creative battery and one like the money battery. And,
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
You have to find a balance between the 2, but sometimes money is more important, paying rent is more important. But sometimes it's important to do something for yourself so you don't feel like, too separate from your work, and do something that you really care about. But I'm not sure if I can put it like this with the work I'm doing, because like I'm doing a lot of small stuff, and for me those are just jobs. I'm still happy to do them, but I like rarely can put anything of myself into it. I think it's like more with like the passion projects, or like you said with the music video, sometimes there are projects where there is a budget, but the budget is not really like you
A
want
budget?
to yeah, you could do it like just take an FX3 and shoot it alone, and then the budget would work. Or you're like, okay, I see something, I think we can make it cooler. And for me it's always if it's worth to me, and I think like a project could be cool, or could be I could show this to people or put it on my reel, then for me it's always not about the money, but to do the coolest thing about it. And I think this is like also like the name of the game right now, to be able to do stuff with less. And I mean, like all the stuff you see on my website, like almost all of it we did like with so little money.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, we made it work somehow. It's like really stressful, but I don't know, if you have like a finished film, like it feels nice. It's like finished forever and you can look at it. And I think like this is really rewarding sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to balance that. I think every budget that I get, I just want to stretch it to the absolute max.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to not do that,
Yeah.
because I think in commercial, it's not the way.
You
Like,
have to pick your battles, right?
yeah. And also, like, your job is to also come in budget. Your job as the director is to approach the project with that number in mind and make sure that you're doing it. Otherwise, you're gonna, you're making everyone's life harder. I think DPs can make more concessions for that sometimes. And ultimately, like, DPs and directors have the say of what hill you want to die on, right? Like and that's a good exercise for creatives, is like, what do we actually need for this? Like, what do we care about? Because a lot of the time it's not things like camera and lenses. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it actually is. Like if you need a really cool slow-mo shot, and your Alexa or Sony, it just isn't going to cut it. Like, that's a conversation, right? Like, what do we lose? And it's a fun puzzle exercise, right? Because it's like, well, if we lose this, then like, do we gain this? And if we tighten this part of the day, like, can we get that? So I think it's like no project ever is like you come in and it's just like, okay, we're good. Like, we all know what we're doing. It's literally until the second you click record, you're figuring out and battling with yourself and produce it. The whole team is battling each other in a way, but like, it's that like give and take that makes what we do special. So I think it's just like you have to do it in a respectful way, respectful of people's time, respectful of people's opinion. Like I always want to ask the keys, like candidly, like, do you like this? Like, is this a good plan?
Yeah.
Like, because if it's not, tell me now so that
Yeah.
I don't have to hear about it in a month when you're like, we should have done it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell us a bit about your like day-to-day life. How does your week look like? Do you sit a lot of the job is like pre-production, and like especially for directors it's like pitching and being in calls with the agency and stuff. So yeah, how does that play out for you?
How does it work?
Yeah.
I mean,
how's your week look like, or your month?
I also have many batteries for how I schedule a day. So I would say it like depends like what part of the year I'm in. So like the Junos who I mentioned, like I work constantly for them. So whether it's meetings and calls, setting up things, and a lot of their shoots are like smaller, but it candidly keeps the lights on for me, and I just have a great relationship with those people. So I'll dedicate like, as much time as I need to getting that work done. That's usually like the first part of my day. And then the second, half, like depends, like throughout, like I'd say pitching is a huge part depending on what boards are coming in. Developing is more what I would want to call it. Like I don't like to wait for work to come around. Like I've been working on something right now for like almost a year. That's like just coming to fruition. And it literally was a nothing, like just a friend calling me saying I have an idea, and him and I workshop that together. And now it might turn into like a full blown brand and commercial that we're launching. So, it's like pushing those things forward on a daily basis. And post, like I'm right now getting texts from an editor that we did a project on it's like one of those passion projects. There was a car spot, small budget, whole team is trying to make it better. So I'd say, I'm trying to balance like developing and coming up with ways to get business. Like sometimes it means calling my producer friends and saying, hey, like you want to try to like approach these people and do something, or it's talking to agency creatives, just being like, hey, how's it going? Just re-sparking conversations, reminding people you're there. I think that's like the hardest part about being a director, is like it can be really isolating. And sometimes when the work isn't there, you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
What am I doing today? And so I've been lucky because I have like I think I have maybe too many things. Like sometimes I'll be editing like a smaller thing, working on it, even if it's like corporate-y stuff, like I'll still touch some of that. But it's really for me like, what is the thing that's in front of me that I can chase for that day? Like whether it's getting an edit done, VFX, pitching. Like I love plane rides because that's where I feel like most of my development work done. But like after this call, I have a call with a VP at an agency, and we're going to talk about this pitch that I've put together.
Yeah.
Which is a new thing that I'm doing, where I'm trying to like actively like, I met this Paralympic athlete on a plane, and I thought it was just so random and a weird coincidence. And I asked him, I was like, listen, this is kind of the work I do. Like if I could find like a vehicle to tell your story, like, would you be interested? And he said, yes. And so
Cool.
Like, it's that kind of stuff that I'll now take and say, look, I have this IP of this person. I have this story that's unique to them and this relationship that I have with them. Can I put this, what's a brand that I could match this with? And then now that I know some agency people, it's like, they have to have those relationships. It's not like I can just go and hit up any brand, I can try, but I think it's better when it comes from someone who's in that world and they have that relationship. So, it's just, that's all relationship building. Like that's really what I'm trying to do all day, is like develop ideas and then try to execute them through relationships.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the hard part, right? It's like people business. I always say this is like a giant people business. It's about who you know and how good you know them, and you know. But it's
I
also
know.
like you have to communicate what you do and what you're good in, and like when you do like a film, like maybe not now where your network has like already grown and you've been doing this for some years, but like how do you like make sure people notice you, or how have you made sure of that? Like every time you have
Hmm.
like a new project, you send it out, or like
Hmm.
like I think as creatives or freelancers, we have to be like always on the lookout for new connections, because you never know what's
feel
going on.
like feel like I'm bad at that. I went through like a summer like when I had like two projects that were fresh and I sent them around to production companies, trying to get attention to get repped. And it's good. It's like you get attention and people know who you are. I should do more of it. I don't know why. I have this thing where I don't just send out mass emails. Uh, it's not like cringe or something. It's just like I always wanted people to discover the work organically and then to approach me from that way because I felt like that was a more authentic and
Yeah,
real way of like connecting. But the reality is like that it's just not. Unless you get like an eye candy feature or something like that. Like, how are people going to come across your work if you're not at that level?
yeah,
Which not many of us are, including myself. And so yeah, you have to put the work in. I also think it's like I used to just like throw darts at the board, and be whoever, and then get calls back and just be so excited that I was going to get a call back. But then like that has happened a bunch, and like I was in Cannes um, for the commercial festival there, and um, I was lucky enough to have a piece in, and someone said to me there like, make sure the people that you're talking to are people that you want to be talking to. Like you're not going to connect with everyone. And like it might take you a few calls to realize that like this isn't like the right fit for me. Like I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's not tangible. Like, but you just might feel like I don't know. I don't know if like I vibe with this person. So much of being a creative is being wanted by people with power and people that can like give you these opportunities. Um, and so I think by default we all when we get a bit of that attention, you want to grab onto it and hold it, hold it dearly. But uh, yeah, that's something that has changed for me where I feel like I'm on the receiving end thinking, is this someone I want to talk to? Am I bored by this? Like, is this interesting? Am I feeling like a genuine connection? Like me and you, like we had a good one, right? Like
yeah,
right away we
sure.
chatted, we had lunch, like anytime you hit me up, I want to know what's going on. And I don't think that should change just because someone, is in a position of power that you think you could benefit from.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a tricky one, like especially like at the beginning where you're like also depending on someone maybe, but like in an ideal world where you are able to make that call, I think it's always best to listen to your guts. I think it's always the better move. Yeah,
Yeah. Like when you connect with someone in this business, like whether it's, their copywriter or creative director or producer, executive producer, whatever it is, like I like to think of them like now as like, am I going to be friends with this person? Like,
yeah,
and because if you are, you want to go the extra mile. If you feel like, they give a shit about you, you give a shit about them, you all give a shit about the work. Um, it's just like, we're all going to stretch ourselves thin doing something better. So you might as well do it with people that you like,
yeah.
you know? And if you have that feeling that like you're being disrespected or just not vibing, like you don't like no, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Find your people.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And like you mentioned, like that sometimes work can be like isolating, like especially as like a freelancer. Like I also get this feeling sometimes because you're always relatively late in the loop. I think for you not so late as me maybe, but yeah, you work alone. You have to make the connections, and yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it can get isolating. How do you manage this? Do you like have some way to cope, or I don't know?
Yeah,
There's also a lot of stuff to life other than work. So like, how do you navigate that?
I just drink so much. No, I'm kidding. I no, I have really struggled with this before. Like I would get super anxious, and then my wife pushed me to like focus on my own things in that downtime, like passion projects. And I've been fortunate enough that I've been so busy lately that I haven't had to do that. But if tomorrow everything stopped, that's what I would do. And sometimes that doesn't mean you have to like go and write your short film or start writing a movie or something. Like it can just be as simple as like, I have a pitch idea and I'm going to just, make a treatment for it and explore it. Cause that's the work you're going to be doing anyways. Like if you're in commercials and trying to make it in ads. And that's what I did last summer, and like it turned into something. And I feel like the universe has a weird way of rewarding you for putting in that work into yourself. I actually feel like when I'm really busy, I do the opposite. Like I need everything to switch off. I need to like overbalance the scale. So I just like end up, watching a lot of movies or playing a lot of golf. But I think in the times where I didn't know what to do or I felt anxious, just developing, writing, feeling like every day I had something to do to make strides. Because I think if you get caught in like the website loop or the networking loop, it can just be like an anxiety feedback loop. Like why isn't this person responding to me? Like, oh shit, like I've sent out 3 messages and no one cares. Like, like for me, that was like a struggle. And then people are busy, like people, that was something else that when I was younger, I didn't understand as much. Like they might not see it. They might just be busy, or they see it, they like it, they don't respond, like they forget. Like it's not as nuanced as just like, they don't like my work now. But when I have downtime, maybe I'll do a few like networking things, but mainly I would say like, just find something to better yourself, whether it's, it could be updating your reel or website. I think that can kind of fall into that feedback loop too. But that's your time for passion projects. That's your time to, even if you don't make them, just to like have some time for yourself to think about where you want to go. I'm guilty of this. Like I should be doing this more. Like I really should, but it's hard when you gotta keep those lights on,
Yeah, man, I know what you mean. It's either full on work all the time, or it's like the complete opposite. Like
exercise.
When you're busy, you have too much to do to exercise, and you come home and it's just a mess and stuff. And then when you have all the time in the world, it's like, oh my God, when will I ever work again? But I totally agree. And do you have like some fields you want to explore more in the future? Like you said something about like a feature or narrative. Are there like some stuff you're interested in and you want to explore?
Yes, I do want to explore more storytelling. I want to be careful with what I say because I think for many years I've said like, I want to do TV and film, but then I don't do the work to do that. So I'm just bullshitting myself, but I do want to get there. Like that's why I started doing this. And I think that the projects that have more storytelling in them are the best ones that I've done. And that's like a little glimmer of hope that like I should keep pursuing that. But I don't know. I think like doing like commercials are just shorts in a lot of ways. They're just like high stakes shorts. Usually like I feel like my stuff is not really like super brand heavy. So it is more about people. There's like a docu bent to a lot of the stuff I do, so I want to keep doing that. I really like telling. I just like telling stories about real people, and that like as long as I can keep doing that throughout my career, I don't know, something about it just feels good. It feels good in sports. It feels good in music. It just feels good across the board. Because people are inspiring, and that's like the main thing. Like that has always pushed me to like tell stories. Like I started making music videos because I found the artist that I was working with inspiring. Like I did a golf commercial about a guy who I thought was inspiring. Night Lavelle is inspiring to me. Like, so, I would urge people to find the thing that they connect with, and because this is a long career. Like I already feel like I'm 8 years in the game and just getting started.
Yeah.
That's how it feels, and I think everybody feels like that for a lot. But
I think like this, like the emphasis on like real people and actual stories. I think it will be getting like more important also with like the rise of AI and stuff. I think this is a nice way to prove yourself against that, to be able to find the stories within real people. This is also like a big skill, which maybe you can talk a bit about that, like how you would find those stories. But I think I think this is a good way to be future-proofing yourself a little bit, because maybe some of your, I don't know, average toothpaste ad may go away in the future.
yeah, like what do you mean by that?
Like with AI, for example, that like those generic stories that don't have like a footing in reality or some person that exists really. I think it will be more challenging in the future. I think it's always good to have work that like tells at least some parts like real stories.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting point. Like, I mean, all of our storytelling is history, right? Like that is history. So like, like we're obsessed with it, and like we've been telling stories for so long, and whether they're myths to like tell lessons or they are real stories to inspire people. Um, yeah, it's an interesting point with this whole, like, I mean, I keep seeing all these AI, like, we just came out with this new AI that like, check out this giraffe riding a motorcycle in New York City. Like I literally saw it this morning and I was like, that's great. Awesome. Like who cares? Like, it's a great tool. But when people say like that we're going to get replaced by AI or storytelling is like maybe to a degree craft, like, I think there's like arguments of like VFX and animation, like that there's to a degree, like there's replacement concerns there, but like people still have to agree on what they want and what they're doing. And so that makes me less worried, right? Like, I don't think like, maybe we'll be entertained by AI stories, but like, I don't know if we'll be as inspired if they're not true and they're not founded in people. I mean, the AI algorithm will probably crack this. It'll tell the most inspiring story of all time.
We'll see.
That will never be forgotten. Create new religions, new myths. But I don't know. I think like when you hear like an amazing story, like when I sat down on this plane and met this Paralympic athlete, like my jaw dropped, right? Because he was telling me it, like it's his story, like I get to hear from him the amazing thing that he did. So I don't know if you'll have the same connection with an AI just making up some stuff, it'd be like a little kid just telling stories.
Yeah, probably. I think
we're going deep.
Yeah, but I think this is like like when you I have happened I've had this happened to me also. It's like when you talk with somebody, or you find like you think you find like a story in something, and then
Mhm.
your brain just starts, and there are coming ideas and stuff.
It's
Um,
exhilarating.
yeah, it's a fun process, right?
Yeah, it's super fun. It's the whole reason like we do this, I think. Um, Even if you have like a really good idea for a story, or like an approach, like I don't know, that's why I think I keep doing this, is because like sometimes a story is special to you and it's not as special to someone else, and then you're like, well, let me show you why. Um, because sometimes like I've always found like I'm not like, when you're like in a conversation with someone, and you're like, as it's going, you're like, wait, why am I saying this? And then you're like, wait, now I have to undo what I just said, or something. Like you didn't deliver the story properly.
Yeah,
Like filmmaking, we get the chance to go back and
yeah,
edit and say, okay, this doesn't feel right. I'm gonna fix it and make it so it feels right. Um, so it's like a chance to edit your own vision.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And like you mentioned it before, like because I find it like interesting when you have like an idea and you want to do like maybe commercial or something, and you want to like tie it to a product. Like have you had success like pitching like initial stuff to like a brand or something, and it actually work out? Of
Um, yes and no. Like I think suggestions are always welcome.
Yeah,
Like here's how we could do this better.
yeah,
I love what you did. Here's how we could do it better. Or here's what
yeah,
I think we should do. I think like revising, like I was saying before, like I didn't know this when I was coming up, like just how much work it is to sell someone an idea, right? Like you got to respect that and like understand, like if you come in and change the whole thing, like it kind of derails like the work that agency people have done. Um, if it's like direct to brand, sure. Like I think, yeah, you are the creative director at that point. Like go ahead, pitch everything. Because like you don't have that intermediary person that's done all that work. Um, but like I think if you like give ideas, like it's a little different in Europe than it is in North America. Like I like the style that you guys have. Like it feels like way more collaborative. Uh, like they'll bring you into the room early to do that. And I'm trying to do that here. Trying to like get in. I've only really done it with like one team, one guy. It was just an awesome guy. But he's like, I think he gets it too, where it's kind of like, why would you have the person that's going to execute this come in at the end of this process instead of the beginning? Um, So I think when you have the opportunity to be in early, pitch an idea. And if it doesn't go for whatever reason, maybe it's money, maybe it's time, them just seeing you take that initiative. And then also like I had this happen literally, and it was crazy. It was like I pitched an idea, it was too expensive, and we had to pivot. They liked that I took the initiative. And 2 months later, the job, like per chance, just got canceled, the one we were supposed to do. And the only thing that we could do was my old idea. And we just scaled it down and made it what it is. But because I had pitched that, it happened, you know? Um, so you're the rejection that you maybe get it's not a rejection.
yeah,
It's just a no for now.
yeah,
Uh, I'm very persistent, and I will bring it up. I brought it up multiple times. Like, we should still do this. What about this idea? Even when I felt like it wasn't being well received, like just because like sometimes people have to soak in that idea and get comfortable with the idea of doing something else. Um, so it's not. Sometimes it's not like a better idea. It's just a better idea for the moment. And you have to wait for that moment to come to you. So it's like patience and persistence
yeah,
in advertising goes a long way.
yeah,
Um, And sometimes the project is just going to be what it is. You're maybe not going to be fully happy. You know, like I have a few that I've done recently that they're good. They're just, you know, that did they need to be great? And do I need to make them into this director calling card, eye candy, you know, visual porn? Like, no, that's not what it was going to be. It's not what it's meant to be.
It has to work, right? Sometimes it just works.
Yeah. And it's just, sometimes it's just like the project is what the project is. It doesn't need to be a bigger thing. Like I'm envious of directors that like everything that they do seems like so big and creative and like so unique to them. But I think it's because they had to like work to get their style, to make it like popular to someone else, you know, to make it wanted. Like they're doing a lot of it. They've done a lot of it to get to that position where they can say like, I do this. So they probably did, you know what I'm talking about, like so many times. And maybe they were uncompromising, whereas I might be compromising. But I do pick and choose where I do that, you know?
Yeah. And like maybe to looking back, like the last 8 years you've been doing this, like I don't know if you can pin it down, but like what are like the biggest learnings you made across along the way that you want to tell the world?
It takes a long time to find your people.
Yeah.
You're gonna go through stages where you're like, this is the team, or this is the person, or this is the client, and everything's always evolving. Like, you know, like you just might not work, might work, but I think eventually, if you find people that you just like really enjoy working with again and again and again, just keep working with them. Like it's, you know, like there might be some bigger fish, or, you know, you really want this person's attention. I don't know, just like me in the last couple of years, caring less about that kind of stuff, but like being wanted in that way. I think for, you know, directors want to be wanted, right? Like you want to be repped. You want to have clients shortlisting you. You want to win those jobs. You want to have people that are passionate around you, lifting you up, and you're lifting them up. But yeah, I think just be like, if I could go back, I would just tell myself to be patient, that like things will come, not at the like exponential rate that you want them to. That happens for some people, but it doesn't need to happen for you. You know, like I think just as long as you're still feeling fulfilled and you enjoy it, and there's days where you won't enjoy it. You know, you're like, fuck, why did I pick this? Why am I doing this? This is hard. That's being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like persistence is key, and like I don't know, be resilient and take no for an answer for now, like you said, and then try it again, and yeah, just stay on it. I think this is like probably the most rewarding kind of in the end, after a few years, when you get like something that you didn't thought of. But yeah, it's a long game.
Yeah, and it's like there's parts of it that are like, it's a business too, you know, like I struggle with this is like, if I have a piece that like I know is good, but isn't like exactly what I wanted, or like maybe somewhere along the process it got muddy, it like it has like a cloud over it, like that's something I struggle with, you know. It's like, but yeah, like you still did good work, like just put it out there, like stop being so precious. I think there's a fine line on that, you know. I don't, you know, post everything I do. But yeah, it's like that's the balance of like, this is still a business. You're still marketing yourself. While you're like finding your people, you still have to be making personal strides. So it's like balancing that, you know. It's figuring out like how much of this, what is the benefit for me to explore a relationship or to post a piece of work, like just have that conversation with yourself and with other people. That's like another big thing. Like sometimes I'll send work to like my best friends and be like, is this good? Like, like I think it's okay, but like, what do you think? Like, and that'll kind of give you a good like touch point back. Like, cause at a certain point, like that, it's like what I talked about before, like that base level, is always satisfied. But then when you do something that just like pushes it to that level, and then the next thing you do is like here, you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I want it to be, better. But that's not how it works. Like that's just, it's like sports. Like you don't show up and score, the most amount of goals or have your best run performance like every day. That's what makes your best performances special. So it's the same thing,
Yeah. And maybe to conclude this nice little conversation of ours, like how do you look in the future? Is there stuff you're looking forward to? Anything in particular, or you just what's the perspective of you at this time?
I got some personal family things I'm looking forward to.
Nice.
New stages in life that I think that's pretty exciting.
You just got married, right? Congrats.
I did, yeah. Just got married. That stuff's exciting because it's like new perspective on life type of stuff, so looking forward to that. I think it'll just like, I feel like I'm in this flux right now of stages, and I'm heading into, just because I'm getting older, so heading into my mid 30s and seeing where that goes. And I think like I don't know, I'd like to like with this new stage push myself to keep writing and push that feature TV, put the work in finally. Like sit down and do it. Stop talking about it and start doing it. So that's something that I look forward to, and just the opportunities that come. Like it's a really fun career. It's challenging, but it's like you never know where you're going to be. Last year at this time would not have predicted I was here. So I think that's something that's really fun about this career is
figuring it out as it goes, right?
Yeah, and it'll just like you can guarantee that something different will come up. Whether it's traveling, I'd like to do more traveling with work. I think that's like seeing the world through your work is a really awesome thing that we have that a lot of other professions don't. So yeah, I think just more good work, more authentic storytelling that I think like I'm actively in the driver's seat on.
Yeah, Avery, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing all that, and thanks for being on. I hope you had fun talking to me.
I did. Yeah, you did a great job, man. Great host. I feel like I wanted to ask you more questions.
Yeah, we can do this another time. Maybe we can do a podcast.
We can do a podcast, yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Looking forward to catching up next time, and see you around.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.